Hello, I am Dawn Westmoreland, hailing from Asheville, North Carolina, the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains. Hailing from Asheville, North Carolina, I've been here 18 years, retired from the Air Force, came here, and I think I'll live here forever. Such a beautiful area. My show is called The Empowered Whistleblower. It is about the workplace. How can we improve the workplace? Now, the workplace can be entrepreneurship, sole entrepreneurship. It could be working for the company. Let's make things better. The show airs every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone, or any time that you're listening in. So today we're going to talk about entrepreneurship. More and more people are unhappy. They don't want to work for a company. They want to work for themselves. They want to call their own shots. They think they're smart. They think they have the discipline. So it takes a lot to do that. And I have some guest experts I've known for quite a while: Jen Fontanilla, Dr. Summer Watson, and Rachel Snyder. Hello, ladies. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello, Dawn.
Yes. Each of them bring a lot of years of experience. They work for themselves and they teach others how to work for themselves. So we're going to talk about mindset, soul selling, energy, call to action, passion, the why, impact, relationship building. Ladies, what is this all about?
Well, starting September 29th, we are going to be having a 3-day event, which is called Shift4Impact She Means Business from Startup to Scale Up. And we are so excited about this 3-day event. So this is also going to be in Santa Cruz, California. What better place, because it's right on the beach. So it's going to be beautiful. And again, it's going to be 3 days. So the first day is going to be on a Friday, which is going to be September 29th. And that day, we're going to have a pre-seminar mixer where we're all going to get together. All the people who have decided to come to this incredible event are going to get together and join and meet and mingle and have fun getting to know one another. The next day, which is September 30th, is going to be the seminar, a full day of exercises, integrating, learnings, excitement, fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be all day. Then we're going to move on to Sunday, October 1st, which is going to be a lovely Sunday champagne brunch on the beach, overlooking the beach. With that said, I'm going to turn this over because I know that Rachel and Jen want to add something to that.
We're really excited. This is a very exclusive event that we're basically focusing in on a demographic of women who have been in business maybe 0 to 5 years. So if you're in those starting stages of entrepreneurship, we want to give you real practical experiences and do it in a way that's really engaging and fun. I mean, who wants to sit there death by PowerPoint to learn something? We don't want that. We know that entrepreneurship at its very heart is about connections. So as Summer was saying, it's all about starting with the connections of our mixer and having engagement opportunities at the seminar itself where we're doing interactive exercises. But we're really focusing in on that target market of that 0 to 5 years because we know that you get into the situation of like, can I do this? Do I have the skills to take it to the next level? How do I scale up my business? How do I take an idea that was like a great hobby and make it profitable and like turning those passions into profit? So we're really taking advantage of our collective knowledge of coming together and work with other wonderful, women entrepreneurs who are, in those starting stages and helping them take it. And that's why we named this Shift4Impact. We really thought it's all about shifting gears. You're shifting within yourself. You're discovering your true voice, right? We really want to teach people about being their own CEO. It's not just about being the chief executive officer for your company, but it's also about being that creative engagement officer, that creative, energetic individual that you are. We want to be there with you to help you kind of hone in on your own authentic voice. We want you to be able to like turn up that volume when it comes to your marketing endeavors to really get you some attention. And I know that Jen wanted to share some of the things that she'll be kind of hitting on as well.
Yes. One of the things I wanted to also add is a few months ago, Rachel and Summer and we worked together on a live event. And one of the biggest takeaways that is what sparked this particular event is that people realize that they don't want to do this alone. And entrepreneurship is a huge journey. It's this huge tackling of, oh my gosh, how do I make this transition? How do I make this dream really happen? What do I do? And you can get all the strategy, but at the same time, this is why we are so big on relationship building and connections. It's really forming that community. And what better way to do that than to really come together in real life and to meet other women that'll support you, that'll help build community, that will help you build those relationships and connect you to other people. And so that's one of the biggest things that I'm super excited about, is that it's bringing people together so that you don't have to feel like you're doing this by yourself.
Awesome. And I'd like to ask each of you, starting with Dr. Summer Watson, what are the skill sets that you bring to this event? Because I know all of you have years of experience and you also have years of success.
Oh, such a good question. Thank you for that question, Dawn. So as Rachel mentioned, we have all shifted in some way or another during our lives, in our professions, how we see the world, how we live our passion, our dreams. And this event in particular, we're going to share how we've done some of that, how we've shifted in our professions. So for instance, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. So I started out my whole professional history in nonprofit. That's where I started, in bringing big collaboratives and community together, which is one of the reasons I'm so supportive of and excited about relationship building, the whole idea of relationship building. It's so important to me because that is exactly where I started out in my professional journey. And to me, that built up a lot of different things. That built my community, that built my connections, friendships, so many things. And I still have those friendships today. And we still help each other, both professionally and personally. So that's one of the ways that I see that I have shifted and put that skill set and my strengths into the things that I do today. So that's producing online and in-person seminars, that's producing, these huge relationship collaboratives. So as a matter of fact, this weekend, I'm also bringing together people from the DC, Virginia, and from DC and Maryland, Pennsylvania. Some people are coming from New York and some people are coming from San Francisco to meet me in Washington, DC to create a meetup. And so there's already 26 people coming. So this is one of the reasons I'm so passionate about this Shift4Impact seminar, boutique seminar, because it really is about taking those relationships and really converting them from that transactional, that antiquated transactional kind of networking into relationship building. And to me, that's super important. And that's some of the skills, those are some of the skills that I've really curated and honed in on over the years by what I do to really put into what I do today. And that's seminars, bringing people together, building relationships.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And it must also help that you're a former psychologist.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing with former or current. So I'll always be a doctor of psychology because I've got the doctorate, right? It's practicing. So today I practice as a high performance coach. But again, I'm glad you mentioned that because that skill set has helped me transition to where I am today as well. So you never go without those skills. Those are skills that you bring forward into what you're passionate about today. And that's what we're going to teach at that conference.
Thank you so much. Rachel, what kind of skill sets and offerings do you bring to people?
Well, kind of like Summer, I've had my own journey. We all have, haven't we? And I've spent quite a bit of time in the corporate world, over 20 years doing marketing, and I've worked with so many different types of industries. I've worked in nonprofits and tech, defense, entertainment, toys. And I've been able to move from industry to industry almost seamlessly, it seems, in some ways, because you take those core foundational skills with you. Those marketing skills, those organizational skills, project management, and you're able to apply it. But living in that corporate world, I remember this was really very funny. I moved a big shift, partially because I moved from Los Angeles down to San Diego. totally different industries. Within LA, there's much more entertainment based. I worked in toy companies there for a long time. I was with Fox Studios and with Disney as well. And then when I went to a defense company, I had friends say, you can't be throwing glitter on the trade show floor because that's just not going to cut it when you got tanks around you. I'm like, I get it. That's not what I'm bringing here. What I'm bringing here is I'm able to infuse kind of the dynamic, sort of engaging energy that I can create through collateral or content and put it in front of an audience that may not have seen anything like it. And what was really interesting is within a matter of under 6 months, we had launched a really interesting campaign that took off like wildfire because it really cut through the clutter. It really didn't look like all this, same old sort of military sort of garb that you saw. It looked much more sleek. We had this imagery that almost kind of like mimicked the Marvel characters, like the Silver Surfer. And it was supposed to be like this extreme analyst. And we didn't look anything like anything else. And in under 6 months, a 2-star general were using our terms in his speeches. And you're like, wait, yes, that's marketing gold when someone else is kind of marketing for you. So what I'm here to do is to help you find within yourself those core competencies, right? Those skills that are authentically you and bringing that to the forefront. A lot of times people don't realize that your own personal authentic voice is so powerful. They always try to come up with a corporate speak or a jargon. And you're going to connect with people, but you're going to do so much more so in a very powerful, meaningful way when you're really, connecting with who you are. So I think finding your voice is one of the things that we're going to really work on in the seminar. We're shifting gears into like learning how to be more intuitive, to be more authentic, and to have that confidence in yourself and bring that forward. When it comes to marketing, there's live events. There's sometimes content that you're creating for your social media posts. You want to have that consistency of imagery and branding and messages that can really command attention. And so we're really wanting to share with all of these amazing women who are going to come out and join us for this very exclusive, super fun event, these different skill sets. And so I'm taking some of my skill set from my corporate world, from my own entrepreneurial journey, and I'm right there with them. I'm still kind of a budding entrepreneur myself because I'm shifting my own gears into this entrepreneurial lifestyle. So I'm with them on this. So it's bringing the corporate and this new experience in life journey because it really goes back to bringing your passion to life. And that's what Summer was talking about before about like, living it and dreaming it and designing that dream. And what does that mean, right now? And so that's why I cannot wait to be within a group of women that is not it's not just a 3-day event. We want this to be this like core group that we're going to stay connected with. I know I want to be connected with these women because I think having that powerful network continues to like feed the soul. It continues to like spark ideas. It continues to give you a place to bounce off, concepts. You don't have to live in a silo when you're an entrepreneur. This is an opportunity to reach out in those networks and those connections and to let you know you're not alone. We're going through some of the same challenges you are. We have some wonderful opportunities to like learn from one another. And we're definitely going to give you the practical, here's how to do it sort of steps.
Well, Rachel, I have to say this, many years ago, working in the Air Force, I worked in the Pentagon, ran a lot of generals. If you have a general emulating your quotes or talking about, yes, 2-star, that's Major General, that's pretty impressive because a lot of their roles is PR work. That's fabulous. Jen, what do you offer at this event and even outside of this event?
Yes, I'm excited to bring things that are going to help both your left side of your brain and the right side. And so one of the things is, as a graphic designer, we're going to be talking about the importance of branding and graphics and how that affects your business, what that does in terms of how you show up and how other people perceive you. And so it's so important that we realize how that affects the way that our business looks like to other people, to the public, and how you show up. And so I'm really excited about this part because sometimes it's so easily overlooked, but when we really break it down and dissect the importance of it, we'll see how it impacts what other people think of us. And so when we don't think about that, we don't realize the effects that it has on our potential business. So we'll be talking about one of those parts of branding and design and graphics. And then also as a certified money coach, this is like also my favorite thing to talk about, money and energy. And so I'll be talking about how we can make sure we tap into understanding our money stories. How does that show up in the way that we have our relationship with money? But here's the thing, as an entrepreneur, one of the biggest things that I know we have, especially as a new entrepreneur, is that we have this fear when it comes to money. And when I talk about fear, I'm talking about fear of selling, fear of asking for what you're worth, fear of asking for a certain price, or all those different things around, oh, I don't know if I'm worthy, or we might not say it that way, but really that's how it's showing up. And so I'm really, really just so adamant about talking about money mindset, because if we don't understand what's holding us back, how are we supposed to make sure our businesses are thriving and growing? And so money mindset is near and dear to me. So I'll be talking about that. And of course, there's always like the logistics stuff, but I think in working in the financial services field for over 18 years and being a former advisor, I know that this stuff is so foundational and so important, so that all the other things that you do will flow more easily.
And Jen, I think it's so important to give recognition of the companies that you've worked with, because I think our listeners need to hear, I know they need to hear your level of expertise. Who have been your clients?
Yeah, I've done work for Warner Brothers Studios, Sony Pictures, Disney, Target, Costco, even the U.S. Air Force, ROTC. And different universities across the country. So it's nice to know that it doesn't matter if it's entertainment, if it's military, if it's nonprofit, people see the value in understanding that, hey, we have a money management issue. We need to talk about this, and what can we do to be better?
Thank you. All three of you are very impressive, and I know you have a lot to offer. So let me ask you this. If somebody's been at it maybe longer than 5 years, are they also welcome to this event?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think kind of going back to what we were talking before, we're really trying to build that community and connections. So, even if you have more beyond that 5 years, you're going to come away with something, because this is a very engaging sort of environment. It's not, you're sitting in your seat the entire time listening. We want that interaction between us. And I know that someone could speak more to this.
Yes, absolutely. So I want to speak on something again regarding the Shift for Impact idea. So all of us are going to be shifting. We're going to be shifting. We shift every day. We shift all the time in every experience that we have. They use the word, and it became very popular during COVID, pivot. And I was like, that word.
Yeah. Keyword.
Stop using the word, right? But here's the thing. We've done it. We do it. And we want to have fun during this very exclusive boutique seminar. And it's going to be so engaging. I want to touch on something, because it's really important for folks to know. When I do work, whether or not it's for a university like University of Phoenix or Webster, or speaking at George Washington University, or whatever it is that I'm doing, I want involvement. I want people to be involved and engaged. Why? Because they learn better. They're more invested. They're excited. And I'm not the only one with all of the knowledge. I'm going to be learning. I'm excited to learn from everybody else, every participant who's going to be there. So that's why this is not just your typical seminar. It's going to be an experience. It's going to be engaging. It's going to be uplifting. It's going to be fun. And that's something that even during our last event that Rachel, Jen, and I put on, it was fun. People walked away with the feeling that they wanted more. The testimonials were, when's your next one? We want more of this. We felt so disengaged over the last few years, but even still, if you go to a typical webinar or seminar, you're sitting in your seat and you're watching a PowerPoint. Nope, that's not how this is going to be. This is going to be the way that I facilitate things, is a little bit of presentation, but let's get together and start working together and start learning from one another. And I really, really love that style because it's engaging. There's more of an investment. People are able to learn from each other and really exchange information, knowledge, wisdom. And to me, that's double snaps, right? It's so important. So I want people to know that we're shifting all the time. You're going to be shifting and you're going to be changing and you're going to be learning. And that's the experience during Shift for Impact. So there's a lot to offer. Jen brings a lot. Rachel brings a lot. We all bring a lot to this. And so will each and every participant. So no matter where they are in their journey and they're looking at, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to take this hobby that I have and I want to throw that into the entrepreneurial space. How do I do that? This is perfect for that person. But it's also perfect for the person who's like, you know what? I felt really alone. Because I had one person say to me after the event, she was a photographer, and she said, Summer, one of the things I felt after leaving your event, I felt like I wasn't alone. I was no longer alone. And I was like, exactly why we have these events, because you're not alone. You never have to be alone. And that's why relationship building is so imperative and so important for me, and for me to be able to teach and integrate in every single event that we have, because it's of such value. And then as we move on, if you're thinking about the more experienced entrepreneur, that person who's been in 5 years or more, they're going to be able to share their wisdom, but they're also going to be able to grow their community. So it really is, we're targeting 0 to 5 years, but if you're somewhere outside of that spectrum, it's for you too.
Yeah.
That's great, because I can imagine that anybody who's been out there for a while doesn't know everything, that there has to be something that they can glean from your event. So I want to ask, what sets you three, your event, apart from other women's events that are similar to yours?
Well, each of us are different. And we each come from different backgrounds. And, it's not just our professional backgrounds, it's our personal backgrounds as well that we're integrating into this. So we've learned things along the way. And again, we speak about this. Jen and I talk about this on our show a lot, that people, and I think you both, Jen and Rachel, spoke to this, about how we're maybe lacking that courage sometimes, or maybe that stuff that we talk about has been talked about many times over, but it's not like how Dawn talks about things. It's not how Jen talks about things. It's not how Rachel, it's about how we each do it differently. And so never feel discouraged or inhibited because that topic has been, presented on many times, because our path, our journeys, our wisdom, our knowledge, our experience is different from each and every one of us, from the people that are speaking out there about that particular topic.
Great.
But Dawn, to also further add to what Summer's saying, is we did our research too. We wanted to understand what offerings were out there as far as other type of women's groups or other women's meetings. And a lot of what we saw, they were very focused on like maybe one specific thing. And they were only talking about a sales component, or they were only talking about, a marketing component. And I think what we wanted to do was really be far more inclusive in the full experience of what being an entrepreneur is. The connections, the branding, the selling, the marketing, but understanding them from a different perspective. Like we're looking at this from an energetic perspective. We're looking at this from a creative perspective. So we're not looking to, like, again, as Summer and Jen have been saying, we're not trying to do a death by PowerPoint. It is a very interactive sort of event, which I think we were kind of craving. It's just like we see the success that, going back to like what we've just kind of come through, with COVID and everything else, we lived in our silos, we lived at home, we couldn't go to in-person meetings. And we saw it even with the kids. I'm a single mom. I have a child who did like Zooming for school. What a difference it is with that lightning of interaction with other kids in the room. And this is what we get to do here. We get to play with one another. I think this is one of the things that is so exciting about an in-person event, is that we're learning, but we're playing with one another and kind of like really reigniting some of those things within ourselves. So I think that's where our differentiator is, that we're far more encompassing in what we're trying to share with you as far as just one specific silo of information.
Yeah, I also wanted to add, I think what's also very different about the event that we're putting together is that we're being very, very intentional with the experience of every attendee. Everything that we're deciding is this going to be fun? Is this going to be engaging? Are they going to enjoy this exercise? Like, oh yes, they're going to love this. So I love that Rachel's saying death by PowerPoint. Yeah, because we've all been there. We've all been there. I've been a presenter where I've seen people falling asleep when you had to follow, only that, and there was nothing else involved. Not to say that the content wasn't valuable, but it's how you present it. And I think that's what makes us unique, is that we're very intentional with how we're presenting the interaction, the exercises, the experience, all these different things, because we're really, really wanting to make this exclusive 3-day event so engaging and such an experience that we want people to walk away and go like, oh my gosh, that was so good. You should have went. You should have been there. You should have bought a ticket. You definitely, next time go. And so that's the wave and the energy that we're riding off from the last event. And this is why we said, you know what, let's do it again, and we're going to do it better. And so I think that's what makes it unique, that the three of us coming together, having the experience from a successful last live event, we're going like, okay, how do we even make this even more special and unique so that every attendee that goes walks away going, wow, that was so great. I'm so glad I went.
Dawn, can I add one more thing to this too, please? So when I think about this too, and this event, as Rachel said, and as Jen had mentioned, we're all researchers too. So we're going to do our research, and we're going to find out like what really resonates with folks. And we're not going to be so general. That's why we're really specific on our target audience. But here's the thing. We also are going to cover a lot of different things. The reason we're doing that is because research shows that when you cover topics and are able to shift in multiple different ways in regards to those topics, and this is recent research that I've done, not just time frames, maybe 8 to 10 minutes, but when you shift those topics, then people are able to really engage. They're able to digest the information. And so you don't want to keep speaking or death by PowerPoint for 30 minutes. Because you lose your audience. They can't absorb quite as much. So that's why this is also going to be a very engaging experience, because you're more apt to digesting, learning, taking away, and getting excited about the experience when you can engage with other people, when we can shift topics. That's why we have topics like passion, purpose, and impact, relationship building. Passion and purpose and impact has much to do with what your dreams are, what your why is, and what the impact is. So there's lots of different subtopics underneath that. So it can shift. I can shift for impact, right? and again, with
she's like a dancer. She's like a shifting dancer. It's like, whoo.
I want to shift. And then branding and graphics and soul selling and money and the call to action and mindset and reframing. We've got a lot that we're covering because we want it to be comprehensive as well.
Awesome. So nobody's going to die from PowerPoint. That is amazing. I have come back.
No death.
I've come back alive from a leadership PowerPoint class. And I mean, I am glad to be alive from that. So in wrapping up, gosh, we could go on and on. So much what you're offering. Let's recap real quickly what the event is, the time, the information, and how can people find out more about you individually and about this event?
Okay, so this is called Shift4Impact. She means business, from startup to scale up. It is going to be September 29th, a 3-day event from September 29th through October 1st. It is going to be in Santa Cruz, California. And you can find more information about the event at corewomen.com/shift4impact.
Okay, can they go there, the listeners go there, and also find out about you individually?
So they can go to corewomen.com and find out about me. They can also go to Instagram, and they can also go to LinkedIn at Summer Watson, MHS, PhD.
Okay. And Core starts with a K.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you. I know that when people leave there, they're going to feel empowered, and I'm sure you're going to have more to come. Thank you both. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dawn.
Yeah.